We are live. We are talking touchdowns. The channel is Nuke the House, and I'm joined today by Tyler Hicks and JC Zargo. Tyler, quick thoughts on last night's game before we dive into this weekend's card.
Yeah, I mean, Rams got the job done. I'm not going to take a victory lap on the over because we didn't end up betting it. I just tried to keep you off the under a little bit because I thought the Saints.
It was too late. I bet it before the show.
Yeah. But in the end, we got the Rams home. So you split. You only lost some juice. And we'll get it back this Saturday and Sunday and Monday because there's some good games.
All right. Yeah, JC, we have a couple bets in already. I can't wait to hear where you stand on those. What were your thoughts on last night and this weekend's upcoming card?
It's glad. I was really worried about the Saints after last Sunday, but I was glad to see that they are who we thought they were. And Derek Carr made some plays at the end of the game to kind of pad his stats. So all the box score heroes out there will think he's a decent quarterback, but he's not. He is absolute garbage, and the Saints got to do whatever they need to move on from him.
I don't know what they do because they own $30 million next year, and
so what? Like we would say this. You say this every week, and it's like, so what? You're stuck with trash because you made a bad financial decision. Like, cut him and get a rookie quarterback. Like, you're not going to win with it.
I don't think you're going to win with $30 million cap hit either.
It's only 1 year though, spread. Like, this isn't. Sometimes you got to eat 1 year and just send them home and just be like, go sit on the couch and we'll send you your checks.
Is it still a cap hit even if they cut him?
Yeah.
That's crazy. NFL's crazy, man. Like it's what makes baseball so much more entertaining from like that perspective. Like I'm not getting into baseball. I'm just saying the fact that there's no cap.
I do hate the way the cap works in the NFL. I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
I think it's the best.
I think the NBA is the best.
No, because those guaranteed contracts make those guys so lazy.
Not even
like Zion can get cut. You think he really act like that?
I'm not talking about the financial part of it, like the guarantees. I'm talking more of the fact that, like, if the end for instance, if the Saints don't want Derek Carr and they sign him to all this money and they trade him, they take a penalty for that. Mm-hmm. If the Pelicans said, "Screw you, Zion, your fat ass is gone," all that money they gave him goes to the team that wants him. They absorb the contract.
Yeah.
That doesn't
happen. The only thing I don't like is they just can't cut him. And I mean, it's very rare. Other than quarterbacks, no one gets guaranteed money in the NFL.
I think NBA is at least the most straightforward in that way with like cap and whatnot. NHL is wild too. Like there's some crazy loopholes.
I feel like the NBA has it as simplified as it can be.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only thing they should do is they should guarantee the players the money, but they should allow you to cut them and get your cap open.
Yeah. That's really all the NFL has to do to become like, yeah.
Like it seems to me the NFL is working. Every team's got a chance to win every single year. I think the
only problem with moving the NFL that way is everyone already bitches about like when teams get these guys signing the big contracts, they put these clauses in the contracts where they can cut them by year 3 before the big money hits. Imagine now if, say, when the Giants, for instance, when they were playing last offseason, where it's like, do we pay Saquon? Do we pay Daniel Jones? And they go, just here's $90 million, Saquon. And the moment you mess up and you have a down year, your ass is getting cut, and we're getting all that money out of your contract right now. That's what would happen.
Yeah, I mean, the mistake was just guaranteeing the second year there by the Saints. But we'll see what happens there. Maybe they do cut him and move on. I think it's going to be so hard to win with that cap hit, but they're kind of stuck either way. Tyler, this line has moved since we talked about it yesterday, and I'm talking about the first game up on tomorrow's card. It's the Cincinnati Bengals. They are now -3 in Pittsburgh. Tyler, what caused this line move?
I mean, the Steelers suck. Mason Rudolph's going to be under center. Mike Tomlin's schemes
all this happened yesterday. Nothing's changed.
I don't think anything's changed.
So people are just betting the Bengals.
People were betting the Bengals. Jamar Chase is out. And the Steelers guys were already rolled out that were not going to play. So nobody knew it was popped up on the injury report. Yeah, it's not on the injury report.
I wanted to take the Bengals, but with no DJ Reader, this is way too many points to win on the road. And doesn't this just seem like a game that Tomlin wins because it doesn't make any sense?
Yeah, and just as for this game, I'm just taking a shot Just give me the Steelers defense to score a touchdown at like plus 900.
Hmm.
Just take a wild stab in this game. Don't try and pick the winner. Don't try and lay points. Don't try and take points. I get it. You like the way Browning looked the first couple weeks, but I'm still not sold on him.
I am.
And the Steelers is just, if you win the bet with them, good luck to you. If you bet against them and they screw you, sorry, but I ain't betting the side or total in this game. I'm taking a shot on defensive touchdown. That's it.
JC, every Tomlin trend's going to tell you to take the Steelers here. But I just wonder if this quarterback situation is simply too much to overcome there. Mason Rudolph, it's not a good situation here.
Okay, does it matter who's under center for the Steelers? Like, I feel like Rudolph, Trubisky, Pickett.
Pickett's better than the other two.
All three same guys, different numbers.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett slander this early in the morning. All right. How are you approaching this game, JC? Cincinnati Bengals are laying 3. The total's 38.
It feels too easy to take the Bengals minus 2.5. Like, I don't know what I'm missing.
I know what you're missing. DJ Reader's out. They're going to be able to run the ball. So even if you have a crappy quarterback, they lost their nose tackle and they weren't able to stop the run last week. If they were able to stop the run last week, I would have covered instead of pushed. Was that one of my pushes? Yeah, I would have covered instead of pushed against the Vikings. Instead, like Tyler said yesterday when we were talking, they made Ty Chandler look like Walter Payton.
Yeah, but they put up 27 on Minnesota.
I'm not saying they're not going to be able to score. I'm saying I don't trust this defense when they can't stop the run.
If they're able to score, how is Pittsburgh going to outscore them?
They're going to run the ball and control the clock and make it a low scoring and make it a low possession game. I don't want to say low scoring game.
They haven't scored over 20 points all season.
All right. Well, if I had to take a side, I'd probably take the Bengals, but I don't like it at all.
I mean, I agree that just something feels wrong here. Like if it was like 5, I'd be like, ooh, that's tight, but let me take the Bengals. But something about this just screams trap. So honestly, I think a better play, because I'm also don't like taking the over, knowing it could be 25-0. But seeing Bengals team total 19.5, I kind of like that.
All right. Anything more on this game? I'm going to be rooting for the Bengals, but I didn't get there.
I'm rooting for my hometown team spread because they win the game. That helps Buffalo get into the playoffs and keeps that 20-1 ticket alive.
The 18-1? All right.
20-1.
I got 18. All right. Speaking of the team that we bet at either 18-1 or 20-1, the Buffalo Bills are now minus 13 in LA taking on the Chargers. And I bet you the people who run Peacock thought, oh, we're going to get so many people to sign up to see this high-powered game between two teams that are both destined to make the playoffs. Could be an AFC Championship preview. The Bills, right, a little below expectations, but I'd say they've done their part. They're a team that we're still excited to see. But this Los Angeles Chargers team is a mess from the coaching to the injury situation. 13 seems like a lot, but this team quit last week. Are they going to play hard this week? Who knows? Tyler, what do you think?
Yeah, not laying that many points with Buffalo. I think they win this game pretty easily, though. They should be able to run the ball at James Cook, but wide receivers have absolutely torched his Chargers secondary. Diggs hasn't had a very good week in a while. I think this is the week where he explodes.
Are you thinking he's starting to lose a little bit of separation?
Not just that. I think it's more of the fact that, offensive coordinator got fired. You bring new guy in. We're working new things in. They started getting the run game going more. They started getting Kincaid involved more. Gabe Davis hasn't caught a ball in like 3 weeks. They're using him almost like a blocker. These wide receivers got phased out of the offense as they started moving everything around. What better spot to get back into the flow of things than the Chargers secondary? I'm taking a Diggs touchdown and win here at plus 140. I ain't got to lay points. I'm getting a nice price on it. At other points in the year, this would have been minus 110, minus 120 for this touchdown and win here. So I'll take a plus 140 on that. I think you can get separation.
Get there too, but I bet you that if you look at those PFF or those advanced ones that Amazon does, I'll bet you his rate of separation is a lot lower this year. And he's never been a contested catch guy, right? He was always a great route runner and a guy that just got himself open. JC, what do you think of this game where the Buffalo Bills are laying 13 on the road against Los Angeles?
Yeah, I'll lay the points for sure.
Really?
Yeah, Buffalo, they're kind of in a do or die situation, right? So, if the season had gone more as planned for the Bills, yeah, it's, kind of potential get the win and get out of town. But Buffalo can't afford to mess around. So I think they'll be full throttle the whole game. I'm not worried about the new coach bump in LA due to how crappy they've been all season, right? Like there wasn't a locker room problem. There was just a talent problem there. Guys aren't performing. They're a sorry team. I think Buffalo can easily win this game by 2 touchdowns.
All right, JC likes the Bills. Keg agrees with us, Tyler. He thinks Buffalo's going to win the AFC, and we're going to catch that ticket.
I agree with Tyler. I think grabbing some Diggs props is probably a great look here.
Yeah, tough being to be a Chargers fan. The Indianapolis Colts are plus 2.5 in Atlanta taking on the Falcons. The total here is 45. Tyler, what did we bet this at yesterday?
Plus 2.5.
So I just got a little more juice. I hit plus 122 on the money line yesterday. I split the unit, and it's plus 127 now. Falcons are taking money, Tyler. Taylor Heineke, I guess people are believing in him. I still like this Colts team a lot better. Go ahead and break down why we bet the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, I mean, they're the better team. They've played way better over the last couple weeks. They are going to score points in this game. It's not like you're going to tell me they're going outdoors, because they're not. They're playing in another dome. Atlanta's defense doesn't scare me at all. I think they're going to be able to put up points on them. Jonathan Taylor's back. Michael Pittman's going to play. They're a fully healthy Colts team. I don't see why we don't back them here. They're fighting for a playoff spot. I know Atlanta's trying to win that division, but Atlanta's also a game back at Tampa Bay now, so they might be out. I think you just got to take the Colts here.
Yeah, Atlanta's just been a team that's failed to meet expectations all year, and I believe that's due to poor quarterback play. JC, I like Minshew a lot better than I do Taylor Heineke. I think the Colts have a great chance to win here. I believe their defense is equal, and if I can get more points, Colts seem like a great bet. Colts being plus money is very odd, says Robert. I think that's the strength of the home field advantage there for Atlanta. They look a lot better at home in that dome. So my guess is the reason they're favored is when you sort just by their home games, Atlanta's a lot much stronger. Well, the Colts, if you just sort by their road games, are not strong, but Tyler talked about it because they're a dome team going outdoors a lot of time. JC, what do you think here? Are you going to join us with the Indianapolis Colts?
Absolutely. I know I swore off NFC South teams last week, but catching the Colts as a dog, I like that. And kind of as you said, if you look at the game log, you'd be a little confused with Atlanta, but you're right. When you look at home games, they just can score points. I don't know why they're incapable of scoring on the road, but that just seems to be the case for some reason. So over could be a good look as well. Maybe bring that down a few points and do one of those parlays, like Colts plus 3 over 40, something like that. But definitely riding with y'all.
All right, everybody likes the Colts on this panel. Let's see how that.
How rare is that?
It's happened.
It's pretty rare though. It feels like it's rare that we all, especially like agree. It's not like I lean. Like all of us.
Yeah, I guess we're right there. Let's see if we can find it again. The Green Bay Packers are -5 in Carolina taking on the Panthers. Totals 37.5. Let's look at some things that have happened between those two teams as of late. I'm pulling up these trends right now for that game. The total's gone over in 5 of Green Bay's last 6 games. The total's gone over in 4 of Green Bay's last 5 games in Carolina. Remember, that's a 5-year trend. But the total's gone under in Carolina's last 5 home games, and Carolina's gone under 7 of the last 8 games. Why does that not surprise me? This team can't score. Green Bay coming off that tough loss to Tampa Bay. Carolina was their most recent game the upset win over Houston? No.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Who did they beat? Upset win over Atlanta. I said Houston. Okay. So Carolina coming off a win. Green Bay coming off a loss. Green Bay's laying 5 on the road. Low total, Tyler, but it makes sense to me. What do you think?
It's Green Bay or pass for me. I'd probably just pass on this game. Carolina's won 2 games. It's taken a weather condition in both of them where the game is just an absolute monsoon or something's going on. They keep the game close where neither team's offense can do anything. And they look up at the clock with about 2 minutes to go. They have the ball. They get into field goal range, and they just kneel it out, kick the field goal, and run into the locker room with a win. I don't think that happens here. I think Green Bay's got enough weapons on the field to put up points, and they'll be able to slit on Carolina, and they'll win the game. But in the end, I'd probably stay away from it.
Yeah, I don't want to bet this game either, JC. Are we leaving money on the table?
It's real tempting to not take Green Bay at -4.5. I mean, Carolina hasn't scored. They haven't seen 20 points in like 10 weeks. And Green Bay, while they're not playing great, they can at least score. They can at least put up 20-plus points. So it seems, I don't know. I think I'll probably be on Green Bay -4.5. The total, the under's intriguing there, but at risk of just splitting my money on that one, I'll go ahead and just stick with Green Bay.
Aaron Jones is expected to be back for the Packers, so that would help your cause if you place the bet. Tyler and I are going to stay away. The Cleveland Browns are -2.5. What about the same numbers yesterday? -2.5 in Houston, taking on the Texans. Totals 40.5. Tyler, you told me to wait for the CJ Stroud news, but I went ahead and bet it. Have you heard anything more about CJ Stroud? And break this game down for everybody.
No, I mean, he didn't practice again yesterday, so he's still in concussion protocol. It's looking like he's not going to play. The line's now -2.5, -120, so it's starting to push its way like it's going towards 3. I think you wake up tomorrow and into Sunday, it's going to be 3, maybe 3.5. So let's get the Browns now at -2.5, back the defense. I think Flacco in the run game will be able to do enough, and they'll get out of a close win here. And I think they win by a field goal, so I'll take the 2.5, and hopefully we win by the hook here.
All right. Wait. You're taking the 2.5?
Well, Browns -2.5.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm laying it as well. JC, I like the Browns here. Couple concerns, however, is this their defense. It's been ranked number 1 in the league. However, they do play at home where those conditions are just wacky. That always help the defense. So that can be a concern. They haven't been as good on the road. However, with the Texans losing, to me, the heart of that offense in CJ Stroud, I wonder if they're going to have problems scoring the ball. I didn't think Case Keenum looked very good last week at all. So I like the Browns. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think being in Houston should matter much because the Browns defense, they just need to be good, not great. Houston, it showed. I mean, you can't believe it shows they can't score without their guys. Surprise. So, nothing.
Not to mention, I mean, the receivers are still hurt as well, right? So we were going to downgrade them even if Stroud was in there.
Sure. Yeah, but I mean, Cleveland, we've seen what, Cleveland can still win even with these injuries. So way more of just fading Houston given their injuries. Also like under 40 a lot. I don't. Cleveland will maybe score 20, and Houston, honestly, they'll be lucky to see double digits.
All right. JC likes the Browns and the under. Interesting game here, Tyler. As the Seattle Seahawks travel to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Totals 41.5. Are we getting some Ryan Tannehill back in the game?
Jeremy Ryan Tannehill or Malik Willis, it looks like. So Seahawks are passed for me. Is the number still below? It's a field goal.
It's 3.5 for me.
I see -3, so I'd probably take Seattle before it gets to 3.5. I don't have
Here's
much
my concern.
I mean,
Vrabel's like White Tomlin, right?
I mean, I think
they're at home. They're an underdog. He shouldn't win. He has the worst team. I mean, this is the team they always win. All times they always win. Plus, Pete Carroll's much better. Like those Tomlin and Vrabel is much better as a dog as well.
I love these angles like early in the year. Like now we're at this point where I think like that whole angle where it's like, oh, coach, rah, like we're going to do this. We're 15 weeks into the season. You could rah all you want. Your team sucks.
Yeah, but we always see this. Like that's how the Texans lost the number 1 pick last year, right? They won week 18 or whatever the last week of the year is.
Yeah,
Miami
that
did that too.
Rah-rah is good
that
all
was with
year.
that was with a departing coach that was told he's getting fired after the game, before the game even started. So he said, "Screw you, I'm going to win the game."
All right. What do you think,
Vrabel's
JC?
not getting fired at the end of the year. Like,
You better.
Seattle's fighting for their life in the playoff picture in the NFC. You take Seattle or nothing here.
But that means they're fighting for their life because they're not that good. Like San
They're fighting
Francisco's not fighting for their life.
Because they suck and they're out of the playoff picture already.
No. My point is like the fact that they're fighting for their life doesn't like inspire me to take them.
It's the whole point of the team can't lose the game. So why are we going to run the team with the quarterback that got benched because their coach is a white?
I'm going to look this up and I'll have
their
it for our
coach is
next
a
show.
white
But these
version
teams
of
in
a
these
black
Muslim
guy you like.
situations, I
Like,
think
what
they're
are we
terrible against
doing?
the spread. I'm sorry, I talked over you.
No, I said like our whole reason behind taking this is because they have a white coach who the other coach you think he's the white version of a black coach that you love. Like, you were better off just telling me that, like, I think Tennessee's gonna win this game. Do I have any reasons behind it? No. I just think Tennessee's
Because
gonna
Vrabel's
win.
one of the best coaches as a dog.
Just
like Tomlin.
The whole team's quitting. His running back's quitting. His quarterback's hurt. They can't defend anything. The entire defense is hurt. Raw all you want. The team's dead. I just don't see it.
JC, break the tie.
Oh man, this is not. I don't have to listen to you guys all day. This is hilarious. It's
Don't
like,
worry, it's coming for you. We're coming for you pretty soon.
It's like the scene
I
in
know what game I'm
Moneyball
circling.
where they don't want to draft a guy because he's got an ugly girlfriend, so it shows a lack of confidence. Like, the data you guys are throwing out to support your picks is hilarious. No, I got no interest in touching this game because Seattle's the better team. They're playing very poorly. Tennessee's playing scrappy recently, and I'm a little scared.
Seattle's not playing poorly. They're coming off a win.
Okay, against a battered Eagles team, and they lost 4 before that. I'm a little scared of a FU Ryan Tannehill game. I'm scared of him coming out and being like, I still got it.
Saying, I mean, not to cut you off, JC. They did use 4 in a row. 2 of those were to the Niners. 1 was to the Rams by 1. And then they beat the Eagles.
They should have won that Rams game too. They got so lucky. The Rams got so lucky.
Gino's been banged up in these games, and we think that this is the rah-rah spot that they're going to fight for their lives. Like, no.
I would agree it's Seattle or pass, but due to everything I said, including Ryan Tannehill being understand there, I got no interest in touching this game.
Yeah, we're not going to bet it either. We're just kind of having some fun going. You're not betting Seattle, are you, Tyler?
No, but I'm not letting you.
Tennessee. I'm just arguing with you.
I'm not letting you bet Tennessee.
Okay, deal.
And also, you got to hate that 3.5 line. There's always that too.
Yeah, I do. The Washington Commanders are +3, but that'll probably go to 3.5 soon. In New York, taking on the Jets. It's a weird line. Who's the Jets quarterback? I don't get it. Tyler, talk to me.
We need to skip this game spread.
How is this not a pick? How is either team favored?
I don't know, and I don't want anything to do with this game. They just listed CJ Stroud out.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't bet the Jets Washington game. I just don't see why you should. You're betting the best defense versus the worst defense. I wouldn't do this. Just stay away from this game.
What do you think, JC?
What would you call this game, Tyler?
Call the number if you got if you bet this game.
100%. I mean, I think it's a little weird. Washington's the dog because Wilson's out. But either way, this is just gross. No thanks.
The Detroit Lions are -3 in Minnesota, taking on the Vikings. Totals 47.5. Gosh, if Nick Mullins wasn't the quarterback, I would love the Vikings here so much. I just can't get there. I know you're on the opposite side, Tyler. Tell me why you like the Lions.
I'm torn on this game and why I look at it because
I'm kind of like Minnesota more and more.
They're gonna blitz the hell out of them. Blitzing Goff gets him all worked up. He's gonna turn the ball over probably once or twice. Detroit's defense looked good last week, but how lucky did they get on all those where Denver's on the goal line, scored 3 plays in a row, and none of them counted? They had a lot of luck on their side last week. I think that Minnesota can score more points than Denver did last week. They have better weapons. If the Lions sell out to stop Jefferson, then Addison can cook them. If they sell out to stop Addison, then Jefferson can cook them. If they say we're just going to take the wide receivers away, then Hawkinson's running across the middle. If they say we're just going to drop everyone back into coverage and stop everyone catching the ball, Ty Chandler probably runs for 110 yards. I probably stay away from this one in the end outside of like props, maybe take a Justin Jefferson touchdown. I don't think I could take a side in this one anymore.
Yeah, yesterday I kind of like in Detroit. The more I've looked into this game, the more I'm thinking Minnesota's the right side. What do you think, JC?
Yeah, I got no interest in betting this one. I don't think Mullins is as good as last week would indicate. Maybe he is, but regardless, I think Detroit's defense is crappy enough that there's a very good chance he could rack up 300 yards again. Minnesota's got a stellar defense that can make things difficult for Detroit. So, I mean, this game either turns into a shootout or it's first to score. I mean, the last 4 between these teams, the home teams always win. But, I mean, just too much inconsistency from both these teams in recent weeks for me to even hypothetically give a side.
Yeah, I lean towards the Vikings, but I'm not getting involved. The Jacksonville Jaguars are now +2 in Tampa Bay, taking on the Buccaneers. Totals 42. Everything I've read is that Lawrence is going to sit, Tyler. But as we remember in Cleveland a couple weeks ago, we thought there was no way he was going to play, and he went out there and played all right. Wasn't his best performance, but way better than I thought he was going to be. I thought he was really going to hurt the team trying to be out there. How long will this last? If Trevor was in there, I think the Jaguars would be in a pretty good spot. Tampa Bay coming off that win, maybe a little bit overvalued, but CJ Beathard and Nick Mullins, I mean, these are the Shanahan rejects. These guys couldn't even get it done in a Shanahan system. What do we do with this game, Tyler? I don't like it.
I don't think you can bet this game until you know exactly what's going on with Lawrence. He got ruled questionable, so don't know if he's going to play. I'd hate to take Tampa Bay right now. Lawrence steps on the field. They need the win. They pull off the win. I'd hate to bet Jacksonville now. He's rolled out, and I'm backing CJ Beathard and watching Baker throw to Mike Evans and these guys all game and beat me. So I don't think you could bet this one until you know exactly what's going on with the quarterback situation.
JC, your thoughts here?
I don't really care who's playing quarterback for Jacksonville. I got no interest in betting this one. Both teams are playing both teams are playing for their division. Playoff spot too. These teams are on the edge of playoff elimination, so I think that adds a unquantifiable level to this game. Tampa Bay's been playing good football, but they beat up on Green Bay, Atlanta, and Carolina, so that's really not that impressive. Are they playing good football, or are they just playing crappy opponents? Jacksonville, they've been all over the place all season, so without consistency from them, again, we've seen that regardless of who's under center, just no interest in touching this one. Maybe over 41.5 could be a good play, but that's the only thing I'd even consider.
Tyler, 2 of the most mobile quarterbacks in the league will both be on the field when the Arizona Cardinals visit the Chicago Bears. Kyler Murray versus Justin Fields. Those guys should be running all over the place. That looks like a lot of fun. The total here is 43.5. Break down that game, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's an ugly game. I think both quarterbacks are going to be running a lot. I think the Bears end up winning it. I think DJ Moore finds the end zone. But I think one fun same-game parlay is just parlaying both quarterbacks to run one in. Let's see what that pays out. Because I know Fields is right around like plus 185, and you're getting a nice price on Kyler. I think Kyler's like 3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, you parlay those two together, they're both running. 8-1 for both those guys to run one in. So the quarterback touchdown parlay, I'll definitely do that. I think they both run one in that game. I don't even mind Trey McBride either. So the other guy I don't mind taking props or shots on is Roschon Johnson. They tried to use they are trying to figure out who their RB1 is. They used them last week. They didn't give Foreman or Herbert many touches. You got to think they do that same thing again here against a bad run defense in the Cardinals. I think that this could be the game Roschon finds the end zone, maybe hits 100 yards, maybe scores 2. So you can get some nice prices on those. I would take some shots on Roschon Johnson. What are your thoughts on this game, JC?
I think it's really gross to see the Chicago Bears as a favorite.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I can't pull the trigger on a -4, but I can't grab the Cardinals +4.
No. Like, I definitely think Chicago wins, but laying 4.5, absolutely not. Honestly, this seems like one of those games where like FanDuel or one of the books will give you a fun prop where it's like, just a combined rushing, like, Kyler Murray, Justin Fields combined over 80 rushing yards or something. And that could be tempting because that's certainly going to be the look in this game. But I don't. Yeah, I got no interest in taking any action. And I have no interest in watching this game. So even more reason to not have.
Yeah, this game's either going to be one of those watches where it's like, oh, this is a Big 12 football game. There's a bunch of points getting scored left or right.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be watching it. It's going to be like, I'd rather turn around and stare at the wall because there's more action on the wall right now.
100%. I mean, because that's what this has to be like in practice this week is just shut down the run. Both these guys. I mean, use two QB spies if that's what it takes.
That's why I kind of like the DJ Moore angle here because DJ Moore just might cook this Cardinals secondary.
Yeah.
Any takes on this one, Spread?
I mean, if there wasn't the other game that we're about to talk about, I want to watch it. I think it's going to be fun.
This one?
I don't know if Cardinals and it's going to have all the scrambling.
Yeah, or they just shut that down. That's what we said. He said it's either going to be extremely high scoring or it's just going to be they'll shut down.
I just think it'll have the best highlights.
Hopefully, but
both those guys are whether or not they're winning players, they're both highlight machines.
Sure.
So, but I'm not getting involved from a betting perspective. I mean, should the Bears really be laying 4 though?
That's what I said. I think the Bears win the spot, but I'm not going to lay 4.5.
Yeah, and even the money line at -202, I don't think that's a proper price. I would line this at like -2 and minus like 140.
And then I can use the money line in a parlay or something.
Yeah, and I guess there's a little bit of value there on the Cardinals, but here's where I'm thinking I'm missing these things. Am I not properly accounting for how well this Bears defense has played since acquiring Montez Sweat? So, and the Cardinals defense is horrible. So I think Chicago will be able to put up points.
Right. I mean,
I think if you like Chicago, play their team total and don't lay the 4.
That's not
and then you don't have to worry about how well Kyler does against the other team. I think that's the biggest guarantee in this game. I think Chicago's going to look pretty good on offense.
Has Arizona played any other mobile quarterbacks? Was Stroud in that game?
He's not really mobile like Fields, though.
Yeah, it's true. He was.
No, I mean, so to me, there's 3 that I think are in that category: Lamar, Kyler, Fields. Do you think I'm
Baltimore
missing
put
anyone?
31 on them. That doesn't really help us.
Because the other guys like extend plays. Like Allen gets a lot rushing, but it's not through speed; it's through sheer force. Mahomes just does it like when he needs to, but it's not like a design.
Well, and those guys have so much time in the pocket. It's just that by the time they're breaking out, everyone's already so far downfield.
Yeah.
Whereas these guys rush out of necessity to keep from getting sacked.
All right, JC, are you ready for the matchup?
I'm dreading it all
of the afternoon? The Dallas Cowboys are coming off one of their worst losses of the season. You could argue the Arizona loss is worse. Who knows? But the point is, they got embarrassed on national TV. That's right. The Cowboys got embarrassed by the Buffalo Bills up there in the cold. Now they got to travel down to the warm weather of Miami and take on the high-powered Dolphins offense. Tyler, before we throw it to JC, let JC know why we bet the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, It's one of those spots where I think Dallas's defensive line is going to be able to handle Miami's offensive line and get to Tua. We just talked about Goff with pressure. Once you get pressure on him, he folds. In the games Tua's lost this year, JC, what has been one of the biggest deciding factors? The pressure that they
Tyreek playing.
Well, I mean, yeah, but Tyreek was in the games that they lost earlier in the year, and it comes down to when they pressure Tua. I think DeMarcus Lawrence, Michael Parsons, and these guys are going to be able to get back there. The entire offensive line for Miami's banged up. Hill's not 100%. If he's not 100% and can't use that speed to his advantage, how much different is he from like a Devontae Smith against his secondary that didn't look all that good last week? I think it's a spot where I think Dallas, especially Dallas off the big blowout loss, I think it woke them up. I think they come back with a vengeance here, and I think they put it on Miami and they win this game.
JC, do you agree? You're going to bet Dallas with us?
I don't know, man. So I'm betting on your team so difficult. I'm not one of those people that say don't bet on your team. I think that's incredibly stupid. You just need to be smart. If you know your team, right? So like you should be able to pick the spots as long as you're willing to bet against them and bet for them. Like I think it's no problem. This line's perfectly placed. It's basically a pick 'em. I don't think it's going to ultimately be a close game. I think whoever wins routes the other team. And I'm worried. I'm worried that it's going to be my team getting routed. However, I'm going to hate myself too if Miami routes Dallas and I don't have money on it. Yeah, I really think, I mean, this is huge for Miami, right? Because, you win out, you get the 1 seed. You got to win at least 2 out of 3 to win the division. And you don't lose this week and then find a way to go beat Baltimore and then go and come back home and beat Buffalo. So if you got to win 2 of the next 3, you have to win this one. This is massive. I think Miami gets the job done. However, it's not a play I would put on the sheet.
If these two teams were fully healthy and this was Madden and we turned injuries off, I would be on the Miami side. The strength of my handicap and where Tyler really convinced me yesterday was when we were going over the offensive line issues. And the fact that they're not practicing this week with the backups, I think it's going to be really hard for this team to establish that line of scrimmage. I'm worried if I was betting Miami that they're going to get beat in the trenches, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I do think Tyreek's going to be 100% if he's out there, Tyler. So I still believe that he will get open, and there are going to be opportunities to attack this Dallas secondary. But overall, I think that Dallas is going to consistently win the battle off the line of scrimmage. I love the fact that I'm getting them off an embarrassing primetime loss, and I'm getting Miami coming off kind of a coasting, easy win, right? I mean, they have to be feeling good after that one, right? Did they just destroy the Jets? Am I wrong?
Yeah, but I don't think that hurts them. I think it was good because after losing embarrassingly to Tennessee, it was kind of just a get right. Like, okay, we're not.
I'm saying if they lost to the Jets, it would kind of throw out my bill, the Cowboys. Do you see what I'm saying?
No, if they lost to the Jets, I'd be all over Dallas. I'd be like, this team sucks. They're over. It's done. Fade them the rest of the way.
Okay, yeah, I guess we see that differently.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's a little bit of relaxation when you come off.
Well, yeah, because they're playing the Jets and they could be coasting by halftime.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else you'd like to refute us on for our Dallas Cowboys
I will
wagers?
say to anyone who likes Dallas, go grab Baltimore -3 right now, because that's where the line is for the following week. And if Miami wins this game, it's probably going to be closer to a pick 'em. And I would agree. Baltimore, regardless of what happens, Baltimore is probably a smart pick next week.
Is that in Baltimore?
Yeah.
One concern there is teams off of 49ers game are terrible. It's one of those, these really physical teams.
Yeah. I remember we talked about that.
Yeah. Okay, well, that wasn't as heated as I thought it was going to be. I thought you were really going to come at us guns blazing, JC.
No, not at all.
Even after that big win, you're not overconfident?
No. It, like I said, had they lost, I would be down bad. We're right back where we were pre-Tennessee with that win. It was just a nice. confidence booster, but not overly confident because obviously it's still the Jets.
Sunday Night Football. Not too exciting here. The New England Patriots are +7. They're heading to Denver to take on the Broncos. Total's 35.5. The Patriots, correct me if I'm wrong. What happened with them last week, Tyler? They got
Patriots?
smoked, right?
They lost by like 10 to
beat the
Kansas City.
Chiefs. Or they lost.
Oh, they pushed. They pushed against
No,
Kansas
they
City.
lost.
Was
Yeah.
it plus
Line
10
was like
now?
8.5.
Oh, I bet it at +10. It was a push for me.
Jeez.
The Broncos are coming off a loss to the Lions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they're back home. Total's only 35.5. Tyler, this game, is this a call the number game?
Is this a what game?
Like the gambling hotline? I mean, like, are
No.
you getting involved here?
If you take anything, you take Denver. I mean,
Yeah.
It ain't as ugly as some of the other matchups. Denver's still fighting for a playoff spot. I'd use it as a teaser leg.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're telling me you'd rather bet Seattle, Tennessee over this one, Sprint?
At least this is a good team and a bad team.
Because it's got a coach I really like. Two coaches I love. Pete Carroll and Mike Vrabel. That's awesome. I do like Peyton and Belichick, though. You would think this game would have been so much better when they put it on the schedule. I mean, the Patriots were just average. This would have been a great game. JC, are you a Bailey Zappa believer?
No, I'm not. But I think that game was enough to scare me off of Denver. I don't think it's a 1-800 game. I'm not going to lay 6.5 with Denver. New England's defense is too potent. Denver's offense is not electric. So if anything, the under here, but laying a touchdown is not a good move.
Yeah, I agree. I'd definitely keep it to it. I'd use them as a teaser, but I just can't figure out how to use them with the other teaser leg.
Dallas.
Yeah, I could tease them up above a touchdown. I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad idea.
Who were you got in the teaser?
I said Dallas.
Denver and Dallas.
Yeah. Who else is looking good? That's it.
Vegas?
No.
But let's talk about that game.
Oh, I'm
Las
sorry. I
Vegas-
meant Kansas. I said Vegas. I meant Kansas City. I'm sorry. I butchered that jab.
Okay, well, we'll start with you, JC. Currently, the Vegas Raiders are +10. They're coming off the best offensive performance of the last 5 years for the team. To be fair,
For the team. I would say best offensive performance of the last 5 weeks, maybe.
I mean, you guys still got your 70, but JC, as much as I'm a Raiders fan, that game said more about the Chargers than it did the Raiders.
For sure.
Now we're taking on a Kansas City team that pushed last week on this very same number, but Kansas City's at home this time. They're not playing in New England. I am worried about this game, JC. I think we can get embarrassed here. If you're playing the Raiders and you want to back my favorite team, I think what you're gonna strengthen your handicap would be Chiefs can't. How are they going to run the ball when they can't catch the ball? How can they run up the score, right? And the Raiders' defense has been playing really well under Patrick Graham. If they can keep this to a low-scoring game, if this game goes under, that +10 should be pretty good. I think the Raiders will do all right on offense. Tyler's been hammering me about Nick Bolton being gone all year. This is the week he should return, so that will strengthen up an already pretty good defense. I don't know what to do with this one, JC. I haven't placed a bet at all. What do you think?
I want to know what the spread would be if Vegas only won like 28-21.
I don't think it'd be that much different.
Okay.
I 10 points is a ton.
Huh?
I think 10 points is a lot for a team that hasn't quit on defense.
No, for sure. But again, we know Kansas City doesn't really cover large spreads. So
Yeah.
I think it's too large to lay. I don't think you're about to take. I don't know how to handicap a team that scored 63 points last week and 0 the week before that.
And that's why I said it wasn't about the team; it was about the opposition. The Vikings were fired up,
and it's going to be 59 and it's going to be 59 and rainy in Kansas City. Maybe just take the under. But I agree. I don't know how you possibly can make an intelligent pick on the spread.
Tyler, tell me that we're taking the Raiders plus 10.
Hell no. I am not betting Aiden O'Connell and the dude that looks like a thumb as a head coach.
Oh, come on.
No chance. He beat up on the Chargers. I'm not going to take any brownie points from that. You get nothing from me on that. Nick Bolton was back last week, and he looked good, and their defense picked right back up where they left off when he was in there against the Patriots. This is where they beat up on the divisional rival. They're gonna win this game by like 17.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're right.
That is true. I forgot. Their last few games have been a blowout.
We haven't done good since that first Gruden trip to where they did the victory lap in the bus and pissed everyone off.
I like how Tyler waited for week 16 to insult your coach their spread.
I had to let him have his fun for a couple weeks. We all knew it would wear off before the end of the season.
What would wear off?
His whole his shine. His shine. The new
what do you mean? He's coming back next
the new
year, bro.
toy spunk. Like everyone's like, oh boy, like new head coach, you won a game, and then here we are 4 weeks later. It's like, yeah,
bro, he's getting people fired. Andy Reid better watch out.
Yeah.
Andy Reid's job's on the line this week.
I want that cat dropping that note. I didn't know Pacheco was back.
And full attack. All right, speaking of division rivals getting beat up, Tommy DeVito and the New York Giants will be in Philadelphia taking on the Eagles. What are the Eagles now? 3 games in a row? This is the 3-game losing streak for this team. Of course, they disappointed on Monday Night Football last week. It was the short week. And, JC, I got to do something too. You're all by yourself. Break down the Eagles game.
Man, this is a tough one for sure. Because you don't know if the Eagles are actually down bad or, they're definitely down bad, but is this a reflection of the team's talent or, and due to injuries and all that, are they done for the season or are they ready to, show some fight and get things back on track? You got to like that Hurts isn't on the injury report. Defensive offense. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely on the offense after what we saw last week with Philly. Allowing 20 points to Seattle is a little bit more than you'd like to see, but still, with what to be a Super Bowl contender, you should be able to score more than 20 in a game. So definitely the offense got to get right to give them a chance. And then the Giants, hard to say what to make of them because they were looking pretty good there, balled out against Green Bay, but Green Bay sucks. And so then we look at their game against New Orleans and we now know New Orleans sucks. So hard to say if the Giants are any good. I know the Eagles have just dominated. The Eagles have just dominated the Giants in recent history. So 13.5 is a lot, but I don't know if you can justify either side given the offensive performance that we've seen from the Eagles.
Tyler, where do you land on this game?
Just take the Eagles. Don't overthink it. The Giants, it's fun for a little bit. They suck. The Eagles are frustrated. They've lost a couple games. What better spot than to beat up on the ugly duckling in the divisional round or in the division that you play twice a year? They've scored 34-plus points 3 of the last 4 times they played this team. Take the team total over. They're going to smash this team.
I like that team total overlook, Tyler. And I hope you're right because those are the players I have in my basketball pod. They're both Eagles stacks. That's obviously all my Cowboys stacks were eliminated last week. The final game of the night and the best game of the week, the Baltimore Ravens plus 5.5 in San Francisco taking on the Niners. Tyler, this was moved a 0.5 point since we talked. People probably heard us yesterday saying we thought the Niners could get the cover, and they rushed to go bet that play. The total here is 47. JC, I want to start with you here. The San Francisco 49ers are laying 5.5, but if there's any team that's built to win by margin, in my mind, it's the San Francisco 49ers team. The San Francisco 49ers have a strong defense, which you need, of course, if you're going to win by margin, but you also got to put up points. You're not just going to do it by getting stops. The most versatile offense in the NFL, one of the best defenses in the NFL. However, they're going against a quarterback who has had unprecedented success in out-of-conference games. That's right. Lamar Jackson's like, what, 16-1 against the NFC? Can the Niners make it 16-2, or will Lamar Jackson's intra-conference or inter-conference? One of the two. Opposite conference success. Will it continue?
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it. It's one of those games that on paper, it seems like absolutely grab San Francisco when they're favored by less than a touchdown. But Lamar Jackson against the NFC makes you think. I think this is similar to the Dallas-Miami game in that you don't need to worry about the spread. Like, whoever's going to win is going to win by a touchdown by more. So if you like Baltimore, go ahead, grab that money line. If you like,
that's exactly what we said yesterday.
Yeah, if you like the Niners, don't even sweat 5.5. I hate stupid stats like Lamar against the NFC or a team in prime time, because like it doesn't really mean anything, but it really makes you think before you place a wager.
Okay, here's why I would say it means something. I think we can put a context behind it. We can say when you have a player like Lamar Jackson who you simply cannot prepare for, it's really tough. Here's my counter argument, though. Who did the Niners play last week? Kyler Murray. Yeah. If there's anyone to get me ready, right? I mentioned these three guys earlier. It's Justin Fields and Kyler Murray. Those are the two most similar players, I would say, because they have the combination of being able to get those huge pickups on the ground, contrasted with the ability to make the big throw. So maybe with the fact that they do play the Cardinals, they have prepared for Murray before. This makes them more uniquely qualified to take on the Baltimore Ravens than some of these other NFC teams.
But Murray and the Cardinals put up 29 on them.
See, another great point.
So, golly. I don't know. I mean, I want to give a pick. I'm going to be mulling this one all weekend. And honestly, if I have a great weekend up to this point, I'm probably just going to leave this one alone and enjoy it for what it is. Maybe. Yeah. I think you got to take Ravens money line simply due to the value. Getting 2-1 on Baltimore to win this game, I think, is too good of an opportunity. The payout odds do not match the probability odds in my mind.
Tyler, I know we talked about it yesterday, but real quick breakdown of this Niners game, and then we'll give our best bets.
I think I'm starting to side with JC, and I think I'm starting to fall on the Baltimore side. And the Cardinals got it. They were able to run the ball last week. They lost a couple defensive guys to injury last week, so Baltimore should still be able to run the ball here. Their offense is great, but I also think Baltimore's defense is perfectly built to slow down a guy like Debo. So they're going to have to use Ayuk more, which of course they can. CMC. I think they're going to lay one more egg before the end of the year. They might not lose the game, but I think they're going to end up in a tough game. Maybe they etch it out in the end. It's probably right here, so I'd probably side with Baltimore in the points.
Tyler's changed his mind overnight. Pretty fun doing these shows, and you can see that's why I think the NFL, at least for the next 10 to 15 years, is going to continue to be the most popular sport. We have time to digest these things. Right in the NBA, what did I do? I woke up, look at the lines, went over this stuff for like an hour, and then I had to make a decision. In the NFL, I have a full week to go ahead, grab information, network with other people, really do a deep dive. And then you have that anticipation. And I think that's what the NBA fails to realize. The value of scarcity, the value of anticipation, the value of promotion. Floyd Mayweather never announced a fight and said, I'm fighting next week. He said, I'm fighting 6 months from now. So even though it was a crappy fight, by 6 months, we could convince ourselves that the tomato can that he had chosen to be the sacrificial lamb, like Andre Berto, may have a chance. So that's why the NFL is so great. And it's fun to see, as we look into these things, how we don't get married to a position. And just because we come on a show and we say something, if we didn't say, I placed that bet, we're still evaluating and we're still trying to take in more information. And with a sport like the NFL, 52 players on a squad, the multiple different coverages they run, it's not just pick and roll horns and a Spain pick and roll, right? Multiple coverages. There's so much to look into, and I think that's what makes that a lot of fun. But you know what's even more fun, JC? Winning. So that's what the people want to do right now. Best bet.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm so glad you start with me because I thought someone was going to take this. I'll go ahead and take Browns -3
Okay.
with an honorable mention to Diggs TD because I believe that was like +115.
Tyler, best bet for the weekend.
Eagles team total over 27.5.
All right. Now, Tyler, if I was a nice person, right, that didn't, harbor grudges, I would take the Indianapolis Colts as my best bet. But I'm not. I'm being petty. Give me the Dallas Cowboys, JC. That's right. They bounce back against the Buffalo Bills. We finally see that offense right after all my teams with Dak and everybody were eliminated. We finally see that offense get back on track. And Miami, once again, has to answer the question, why can't they do it against winning teams? Give me the Dallas Cowboys money line. JC, even after those hurtful words, can you still provide us with words of wisdom?
I mean, I don't think you could have set me up any better because 99% of what you worry about will never happen. And by that metric, the Cowboys only have a 1% chance of winning. So go ahead, bet the Dolphins.
And you had